4 little girls screamed, "Mommy!" The crime lord in her flower shop went pale. Marcus Kane, the man who abandoned her 5 years ago. He came for roses. He found his daughters instead, 4 identical faces, his eyes staring back at him. A secret he never knew existed. She'd hidden them for 5 years, built a life in silence, prayed he'd never find out. But some secrets don't stay buried. He stared at them, then at her, and one question burned in his eyes. How long were you going to lie to me? The city never slept, but Naomi had learned to find silence in the chaos. Her flower shop sat tucked between a bodega and a dry cleaner on Morrison Street. Small, unremarkable, safe. The kind of place powerful men never noticed. She'd chosen it for exactly that reason. 5 years. 5 years of building a life from soil and stems. 5 years of early mornings and scraped knees. 5 years of bedtime stories and braiding 4 heads of thick, beautiful hair. 5 years of looking over her shoulder every time a black car slowed down outside. 5 years of hiding the most dangerous secret in the world. Her daughters, Zara, Maya, Layla, and Sage. 4 miracles she never expected. 4 reasons she ran and never looked back. The afternoon sun filtered through the front windows, painting golden streaks across buckets of tulips and hydrangeas. Naomi hummed softly as she trimmed rose stems, her hands steady despite the tremor that lived permanently in her chest. This was her rhythm now. Wake at dawn, feed her girls, drop them at the small Montessori 3 blocks away. Open the shop, arrange flowers, smile at customers, close at 6, pick up her daughters, cook dinner, read stories, sleep lightly, never stop moving, never get comfortable, never believe safety was real. The bell above the door chimed. She didn't look up immediately. "Welcome to Bloomin' Root. I'll be right with you. Take your time." The voice hit her like a fist to the sternum. Deep, controlled, unmistakable. Her hands froze mid-cut. The scissors clattered to the counter. No, not here, not now, not ever. She lifted her eyes slowly, praying she was wrong, praying 5 years of paranoia had finally made her crazy. But paranoia didn't wear custom Italian suits. Paranoia didn't have slate-gray eyes that could strip souls bare. Paranoia wasn't 6'3" of lethal grace standing in her flower shop like he owned it. Marcus Kane. He looked exactly the same. Sharp jaw, dark hair swept back. The kind of handsome that felt like a weapon. But there was something different too. A heaviness in his shoulders, shadows under his eyes that weren't there before. Naomi. Her name on his lips felt like violence and prayer mixed together. "What are you doing here?" Her voice came out steady. "Small miracle." He moved deeper into the shop, hands in his pockets, casual as death. "I didn't know this was your place." Liar. Marcus Kane didn't end up anywhere by accident. "What do you want?" She positioned herself in front of the back room door, between him and her entire world. Roses, 2 dozen, red. He paused. "For my mother's grave." The admission surprised her. Marcus rarely spoke about his mother, the one soft spot in a man made of iron and ice. "I'm sorry for your loss. It was 6 months ago." His eyes searched her face like he was cataloging every change. The fine lines around her eyes, the strength in her jaw, the walls she'd built so high even light couldn't get through. "You disappeared. You told me to leave. I told you it was dangerous. I didn't tell you to vanish off the face of the earth." Naomi's fingers curled around the edge of the counter. "You made your choice very clear, Marcus. I just respected it." Something flickered across his face. Regret, maybe, or the memory of it. "I looked for you." Her heart lurched. "Don't." "For 2 years, Naomi. I looked everywhere." "Then you didn't look hard enough to find someone who didn't want to be found." She turned away, busying her hands with the roses, anything to avoid those eyes that still saw too much. "I'll have your flowers ready in 10 minutes. Naomi?" "Mommy! Maya took my crayon." The world stopped. 4 small tornadoes burst through the backroom door, a whirlwind of sneakers and braids and identical faces glowing with outrage and joy. Naomi's blood turned to ice. No, 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 no. Mommy, tell her blue is my color. But I need it for the sky. Girls! Naomi's voice cracked, but they'd already frozen. 4 pairs of wide brown eyes locked on the tall stranger in the expensive suit. And Marcus Kane, the man who controlled an empire, who'd seen every kind of violence, who never showed surprise, stood completely still. His face had gone pale. His eyes moved from one little face to the next. Zara, Maya, Layla, Sage. Identical, beautiful, unmistakable. And every single one of them had his eyes. The silence stretched like a wire pulled too tight. Naomi's daughters huddled closer together, uncertainty replacing their usual fearless energy. They knew something was wrong. Children always did. Marcus's voice came out raw. How old are they? Go to the back room, babies. Naomi kept her tone gentle but firm. Now. But Mommy, now, Zara. Her eldest, older by 2 minutes and bossy about it, herded her sisters back through the door, casting worried looks over her shoulder. The moment they disappeared, Marcus turned on her. How old? That's none of your business. He crossed the distance between them in 2 strides, not threatening, just present, overwhelming. Those are my daughters. You have no daughters. Naomi lifted her chin. You have an empire. That's what you chose. You were pregnant. His voice dropped to something dangerous and broken. When I told you to leave, you were already pregnant. I didn't know yet. And when you found out? His hands gripped the counter between them. When you realized you were carrying my children, 4 of them, you didn't think I had a right to know? Rights? The word came out sharp as glass. You told me loving you was a death sentence. You said anyone close to you became a target. You said I had to disappear, or I'd end up dead. Her eyes burned. So I disappeared, Marcus, and I kept them safe. That's what mothers do. I would have protected you. You couldn't even protect yourself from your own life. The truth hung between them like smoke. Marcus's jaw worked. His eyes glistened with something that looked almost like tears. But men like him didn't cry. They burned from the inside instead. What are their names? Naomi hesitated. Giving him their names felt like giving him power, but he'd already seen them. Already knew. The DNA was written all over their faces. Zara, Maya, Layla, Sage. He repeated each name softly like a prayer, like memorizing something sacred. I want to meet them. No. Naomi? You think you can walk in here after 5 years and suddenly play father? Her voice shook. You think you can disrupt their entire world because you feel guilty? I think I have 4 daughters I didn't know existed. His control cracked. I think I have a right to know them. You have no rights here. Naomi's voice went cold. You're a stranger to them, and you're going to stay that way. I could take you to court. With what? Your criminal empire as evidence of stable parenting? She leaned forward. Go ahead, Marcus. Drag me into family court. Let's see how that works out for the city's most notorious crime lord. The threat landed. Because she was right. Any legal battle would expose him, and men in his position didn't survive exposure. His phone buzzed. He ignored it. It buzzed again. He pulled it out, glanced at the screen, and his expression hardened. Business. Always business. This isn't over. Yes, Naomi said quietly. It is. He looked toward the back room door one more time. She could see the war raging behind his eyes. Duty versus desire, empire versus family, the life he'd built versus the life he'd just discovered. Then he turned and walked out. The bell chimed, and Naomi collapsed against the counter, shaking so hard she could barely breathe. Marcus sat in the back of his car, hands folded, eyes fixed on nothing. 4 daughters. The words didn't make sense, They rattled around his skull like bullets in an empty chamber. Boss? Vincent, his driver and head of security, glanced in the rearview mirror. Where to? Marcus didn't answer. His entire life had been precision, control, every move calculated, every risk assessed. He'd built an empire from his father's ashes and blood, turning chaos into order, violence into power. But this? 4 little girls with his eyes and Naomi's smile? This was the one thing he'd never planned for. The one thing that could destroy everything. Sir? Take me home. His voice sounded hollow. Vincent pulled into traffic, quiet and efficient as always. 20 years of loyalty meant knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. Marcus's phone lit up again. Dimitri, his second in command. He answered. What? We have a problem with the downtown shipment. The Italians are asking questions. Handle it. Boss, this needs your... I said handle it. Marcus ended the call. For the first time in 15 years, he didn't care about shipments or territories or rival families testing his borders. He cared about 4 little girls who didn't know his name. Naomi locked the shop door at exactly 6 p.m. and gathered her daughters. They'd been unusually quiet since the stranger left. Even Zara, her little warrior, always ready with questions, had stayed subdued. Mommy? Maya tugged her sleeve as they walked toward home. Who was that man? Just a customer, baby. He looked at us funny. Naomi's chest tightened. What do you mean? Like. Layla scrunched her nose, thinking. Like when we saw that sad dog at the park. Remember? The one that was lost? Sage nodded solemnly. He looked lost, too. Oh, sweet girl. The man is fine, Naomi assured them, unlocking their apartment door. He was just surprised to see you all. Most people don't meet quadruplets every day. That satisfied them enough to scatter. Shoes kicked off, backpacks dropped, immediate chaos of 4 5-year-olds claiming space and snacks. Naomi leaned against the door and let out a breath she'd been holding for hours. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Her blood went cold. I meant what I said. This isn't over. M. She blocked the number with shaking hands. Then another text came through. Different number. Blocking me won't change the fact that I have 4 daughters. She blocked that one too. A third text arrived within seconds. I have unlimited numbers, Naomi, and unlimited patience. We need to talk. Her hands trembled as she typed back. Leave us alone. I can't. And you know I can't. You managed for 5 years. I didn't know for 5 years. Naomi stared at the screen, heart hammering. What do you want? 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. To meet them. Properly. No. Naomi, you'll scare them. You'll disrupt their lives. And then what? You'll get bored or busy or shot by a rival, and they'll be left confused and hurt. I won't do that to them. I'm their father. The word hit her like a slap. Biology doesn't make you a father. Being there does. And you weren't. Because you didn't tell me. She could feel his fury through the screen. I was protecting them from your world. Our daughters deserve to know their father. Our daughters deserve to grow up safe. You can't give them that. The typing indicator appeared and disappeared several times. Finally, what if I could? Naomi laughed bitterly at her phone. What if I left? The business. All of it. Her breath caught. You're lying. I've never lied to you. That was true. Marcus was many things. Dangerous, ruthless, unforgiving. But he didn't lie. Deception was beneath him. He preferred the brutal honesty of power. You'd never leave. It's who you are. I thought I knew who I was. Then I found out I have 4 daughters. Naomi closed her eyes. Even if you wanted to leave, they wouldn't let you. You know too much. You are too much. Let me worry about that. And what am I supposed to do? Let you waltz into their lives? Let them get attached to you? And then watch you die because you tried to leave an empire that doesn't accept resignations? No response for a long moment. Then, Saturday. 2 p.m. The park near your shop. Let me see them. Just see them. I won't approach. I won't speak. I need to see them again. Naomi's throat burned. Why should I trust you? Because I loved you once, and you loved me. And whatever else happened, that was real. She stared at the message until the screen blurred. 1 hour. You stay 50 feet away. You don't approach. You don't interfere. And if you scare them even a little, you never come back. Deal. She set the phone down with shaking hands. Mommy, Zara called from the kitchen. Can we have mac and cheese? Yes, baby, Naomi called back, her voice remarkably steady. Whatever you want. Saturday arrived, wrapped in golden autumn light. Naomi dressed her girls in their favorite outfits. Maya in purple, Layla in yellow, Sage in green, Zara in red, like a rainbow that refused to fade. Where are we going, Mommy? Sage asked as Naomi braided her hair. The park. I thought we could feed the ducks. Yay! 4 voices in perfect chorus. Naomi's heart ached. They had no idea their entire world was about to shift. She spotted Marcus the moment they arrived. He'd chosen a bench far from the playground, exactly as promised.
Wait, if you're married or in a relationship, this message is for you. Do you feel like he doesn't really see you anymore? Like no matter what you do, he's distant, distracted. Almost like you're strangers under the same roof? The more time passes, the colder it feels. The laughter, the closeness, it's fading. And deep down you're scared. Scared that the connection you once had is slipping away. But it doesn't have to be this way. There is a path to being noticed, to being desired, to feeling close again. Scan the QR code now and take the first step. Don't wait. This moment, it's yours if you act.
Baseball cap, sunglasses, trying to look normal. But nothing about Marcus Kane was normal. The girls raced toward the duck pond, armed with bread pieces and endless enthusiasm. Naomi stayed close, hyper-aware of the man watching from across the green. Mommy, look! Maya pointed at a particularly fat duck. He's so round. Like a potato with feathers, Layla added. Their laughter rang out like bells. And across the park, Marcus Kane sat absolutely still, watching his daughters exist in a world that didn't include him. Naomi saw him wipe his face once, quickly, like brushing away nothing. But she knew better. After 45 minutes, she gathered the girls. Time to go, loves. Already, Zara protested. We'll come back next week, Naomi promised. As they walked past Marcus's bench, Sage, her quietest, most observant daughter, stopped. Mommy, that's the man from the flower shop. Naomi's heart stopped. Marcus had gone rigid. Come on, Sage. But Sage was already walking toward him, fearless in the way only children could be. Hi, she said simply. Why are you sad? Marcus looked at Naomi. She gave the tiniest nod. He crouched down to Sage's level, careful to keep distance, and removed his sunglasses. I'm not sad, sweetheart. I'm just thinking. About what? His voice cracked slightly. About how lucky some people are. Sage considered this seriously. My mommy says we're lucky because we have each other. Your mommy is very wise. Are you lucky? Marcus's smile was devastating in its sadness. I'm starting to think I might be. Sage, Naomi called gently. We need to go. Sage waved goodbye and skipped back to her sisters. Marcus stood slowly, putting his sunglasses back on. But not before Naomi saw the tears. The text came at midnight. Thank you. Naomi stared at her phone in the darkness of her bedroom. For what? For letting her talk to me. Even for a minute. It meant everything. She should put the phone down, go to sleep, maintain boundaries. Instead, she typed, she's the gentle one, sees things the others miss. She has your eyes. They all do. But they have something else too. What? Your strength. The way you survived. They carry that. Naomi's throat tightened. They don't need to be strong like that. They're safe. They're happy. They have a normal life. Because of you. Because you did what I couldn't. What you wouldn't. What I didn't know how to. A pause. I'm sorry for telling you to leave, for not fighting harder to find another way. Naomi closed her eyes. 5 years she'd waited for those words. 5 years she'd told herself they wouldn't matter if they came. She'd been wrong. I'm sorry, too, for not trying to tell you. I was scared and angry, and I convinced myself you didn't deserve to know. Did I deserve to know? I don't know anymore. All I know is they deserve better than growing up in your world. Agreed. The response surprised her. Which is why I'm leaving it. Her heart lurched. Marcus, you can't. I can. I am. I've been planning my exit for 6 months. Before you found us? Before I knew you existed again. My mother's death. It changed things. Made me realize I've spent 15 years building something that will bury me. I don't want that anymore. They won't let you walk away. I'm not asking permission. You'll start a war. There's already a war. There's always a war. I'm just choosing which side I'm on. And if you lose, then at least I tried. At least I chose something real instead of something hollow. Naomi's hand shook. The girls can't lose you before they even know you. Then let them know me. Marcus, I'm not asking to move in. I'm not asking to disrupt everything. I just want a chance. Slow. Careful. Whatever pace you're comfortable with. Let me try to be their father. She thought about Sage's question at the park. Why are you sad? About the way Maya had noticed how he looked at them. Like he was lost. About Layla's innocent observation. Like that sad dog. About Zara's protective stance, already sensing her mother's fear. They were growing up without a father. Naomi had made peace with that. She was enough. She had to be. But what if he could be something good in their lives? What if he could change? What if she was denying them something beautiful because she was too scared to believe in second chances? One dinner. Here, Thursday night, 6 p.m. You bring nothing expensive. You don't mention what you do. You're just Marcus, a friend of Mommy's. That's all. Deal. And Marcus? If you hurt them, if you scare them, disappoint them, or bring your world anywhere near them, I will disappear so completely you'll never find us again. I've done it once. I'll do it better the second time. Understood. I mean it. I know. It's one of the things I love. He stopped. Deleted. It's one of the things I respect most about you. Naomi's eyes burned. Thursday, 6 p.m. Don't be late. I won't. She set the phone down and stared at the ceiling. What had she just done? Thursday arrived too fast and too slow. Naomi changed outfits 3 times before settling on simple jeans and a sweater. This wasn't a date. This was a cautious introduction, nothing more. The girls were excited about having a dinner guest. They'd helped make spaghetti. Well, mostly they'd made a flour explosion while Naomi actually cooked. The doorbell rang at exactly 6 p.m. Marcus stood in the hallway holding a small bakery box. You said nothing expensive, he explained. So I brought cookies. The bakery lady said they're her grandkid's favorite. He looked different. No suit, just dark jeans and a gray Henley. Hair slightly less perfect. Almost. Normal. Almost. Come in, Naomi said quietly. 4 faces appeared from the living room, peeking around the corner. Girls, this is Marcus. He's a friend of mine. From a long time ago. Hi, Marcus, Maya waved enthusiastically. Do you like spaghetti? Layla asked. It's my favorite, Marcus said softly. Sage studied him with those wise eyes. You're the man from the park. I am. I told you you'd be lucky. His smile was gentle. You were right. Zara hung back, watchful, the protector. Already sensing something her sisters missed. Dinner was chaos. 4 5-year-olds talking over each other, telling stories, asking questions, spilling milk, dropping forks, laughing until they hiccuped. And through it all, Marcus sat quietly, answering when spoken to, listening more than talking, his eyes constantly moving from one daughter to the next, like he was trying to memorize them. What do you do for work? Zara asked suddenly. Naomi tensed. Marcus didn't hesitate. I used to run a big company. But I'm thinking about doing something different now. Like what? I'm not sure yet. Maybe something quieter. something that helps people instead of just making money. My mommy helps people, Maya announced. She makes flowers for weddings and funerals, and when people are sad. That's beautiful work, Marcus said, looking at Naomi. Their eyes met across the table. Something unspoken passed between them. After dinner, the girls showed Marcus their room. 4 beds arranged like compass points, walls covered in their artwork, a universe of color and creativity. We each have our own corner, Sage explained, but we sleep better when we're together. That makes sense, Marcus said, having people you love close by. Do you have people you love close by? Layla asked. Marcus crouched down to her level. I used to think I didn't need that, but I'm learning I was wrong. At 7:30, Naomi started bedtime routines. Marcus stood to leave. Wait, Zara said. She disappeared into the bedroom and came back holding a drawing. I made this today. It was 4 stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. That's beautiful, Marcus said. It's us, Zara explained. Me and Maya and Layla and Sage. She held it out to him. For me? She nodded. So you remember we're lucky, like Sage said. Marcus's hands shook slightly as he took the drawing. I could never forget, he whispered. Outside the apartment, Marcus leaned against the wall, holding a child's drawing like it was made of glass. Naomi stepped into the hallway, closing the door softly behind her. That went better than I expected, she admitted. They're incredible. His voice was rough. You've done an amazing job. We did it together, the 5 of us. Without me. Marcus. No, I mean it as a compliment. You built something beautiful without anyone's help. That takes strength I didn't know existed. They stood in the quiet hallway, the weight of 5 years between them. What happens now? Naomi asked. I keep my promise. I leave the life. And if they come for you? His jaw tightened. They won't get the chance. You can't guarantee that. No, he agreed. But I can try. For them, for you, for the chance to be someone worthy of that drawing. Naomi's eyes stung. This doesn't fix everything, Marcus. You can't just walk back into my life and expect— I don't expect anything, he interrupted gently. I'm just grateful you're giving me a chance to know them. That's more than I deserve. He looked down at the drawing one more time, then carefully folded it and slipped it inside his jacket, over his heart. Thursday dinners? He asked hopefully. Naomi hesitated, then nodded. Thursday dinners. He smiled, a real smile, the kind she remembered from before everything got dark. Thank you, Naomi. She watched him walk down the hallway and disappear into the elevator. Then she went back inside, where 4 little girls were already asleep in their color-coded corners, unaware that their world had just shifted on its axis. And for the first time in 5 years, Naomi let herself wonder, what if? Thursday dinners became sacred. Every week, Marcus arrived at exactly 6 p.m., never late, never empty-handed. Always careful, always gentle, always aware he was a guest in a world that didn't belong to him. Week 2, he brought art supplies. Week 3, a children's atlas because Maya had mentioned wanting to see the world. Week 4, nothing but himself, because Zara had said gifts weren't necessary if you just showed up. And he did. He showed up. The girls started calling him Mr. Marcus, then just Marcus. Then one night, Sage slipped and said, Dad Marcus, before catching herself, eyes wide with worry. Marcus had frozen, fork halfway to his mouth. Naomi's heart had stopped, but he'd just smiled softly and said, You can call me whatever feels right, sweetheart. Sage had nodded seriously and gone back to her spaghetti. The word hung in the air like smoke. Dad. But outside Naomi's small, safe world, Marcus's empire was fracturing. Dimitri showed up at his penthouse one night, furious. You're pulling out of the downtown territory without discussing it with the council? Marcus poured whiskey he wouldn't drink. I'm not asking permission. You think you can just walk away after 15 years? Dimitri's voice rose. You built this. Your father's blood is in these streets. Exactly. Marcus's tone went cold. My father's blood, not mine, not anymore. They'll see it as weakness. Let them. Marcus, I'm done, Dimitri. He turned to face his oldest friend. I'm done with the violence, the paranoia, sleeping with a gun under my pillow, looking over my shoulder every second. I'm done. Dimitri studied him with sharp eyes. This is about a woman. Marcus said nothing. You found someone. Dimitri's laugh was bitter. After all these years telling us emotion was weakness, you found someone. I found something worth living for instead of just surviving. And what about us? Your crew? The people who'd die for you? I'm setting up legitimate businesses. Clean money. Anyone who wants out can come with me. Anyone who wants to stay can have their territories. I'm not abandoning you. I'm giving you a choice I never had. Dimitri shook his head. The Italians won't see it that way. The Russians won't either. They'll think you're weak. They'll move on your territory the second you're gone. Then you'll handle it. You're ready. I'm not you. Good, be better. The silence stretched. Finally, Dimitri sighed. How long do I have? 2 months. Everything will be transitioned by then. And if they come for you? If they decide a peaceful exit isn't good enough? Marcus's eyes went hard. Then they'll learn I might be leaving. But I'm not dead yet. Naomi knew something was wrong when Marcus showed up for Thursday dinner with shadows under his eyes and tension in his shoulders. The girls didn't notice. They tackled him with hugs the moment he walked in, chattering about their week at school. But Naomi saw. After dinner, after stories, after tucking 4 exhausted little girls into bed, she found Marcus standing at her living room window, staring at the city lights. Talk to me, she said quietly. I'm handling it. That's not what I asked. He turned. The man looking back at her wasn't the crime lord or the polished businessman. He was just tired. Leaving isn't as simple as I thought. Naomi's blood went cold. They won't let you go. They will. They just need time to adjust to the idea. Marcus, I'm not putting you in danger. Or them. I promise you that. You can't promise that. Not when you're dealing with people who solve problems with violence. I can. He moved closer. Because I'm still that person, and they know it. Walking away doesn't mean I'm defenseless. It just means I'm choosing not to be that man anymore. Choosing and succeeding are different things. I know. His voice dropped. But I have to try, because the alternative is losing them before I ever really have them. Naomi's throat tightened. They're getting attached to you. I know. If you leave, if something happens to you, it will break them. I know. Then don't make promises you can't keep. Her voice cracked on the last word. Marcus reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away. When she didn't, he took her hand. I kept away for 5 years because I thought distance would keep you safe. And you know what? You built something beautiful. But it was alone. And scared. And looking over your shoulder every day. His thumb brushed her knuckles. I don't want that for them, or for you, so yes, I'm taking a risk. Yes, it's dangerous. But doing nothing, staying in that life, is more dangerous. You really believe that? I have to. Because the alternative is going back to being the man who told you to leave. Naomi closed her eyes. I'm scared, Marcus. Me too. But you're doing it anyway. Because they're worth it. You're worth it. The words hung between them like a bridge neither was sure could hold their weight. Stay tonight, Naomi whispered. On the couch. Just stay. Surprise flickered across his face. Naomi? I don't want to be alone. And I don't think you should be either. So he stayed, stretched out on her worn couch, still dressed, staring at the ceiling. And for the first time in weeks, Marcus Kane slept without a gun within reach. 3 weeks later, everything shattered. Marcus was walking the girls to the park, a new Thursday tradition, when a black SUV rolled up alongside them. Vincent stepped out, face grave. Boss, we have a situation. Marcus's entire body went rigid. He crouched down to the girl's eye level, keeping his voice light. Hey, I need to take a quick work call. Can you four wait right here with Vincent? Don't move from this spot. Is everything okay? Zara's eyes were too knowing. Everything's fine. 5 minutes. He walked 20 feet away, phone already at his ear. Talk. Dimitri's voice was strained. The Italians made a move. They hit 3 of our locations. No casualties, but the message is clear. They think you're weak. Marcus's jaw clenched. Handle it. I did, but Marcus, they asked about your family. The world stopped. What did you tell them? Nothing, but they know. Someone talked. They know you have kids. Marcus's blood turned to ice. Who? We're working on it. But right now you need to secure them. Get them somewhere safe until this blows over. Marcus looked back at 4 little girls waiting patiently with Vincent, completely unaware that they'd just become targets. Do it, he said quietly. Find who talked. And make sure they understand what happens when you threaten my family. Boss, I said do it. He ended the call and walked back to his daughters, smile fixed in place. Everything okay? Sage asked. Perfect, but I think we should skip the park today. How about ice cream instead? 4 faces lit up. 4. Marcus pulled out his phone and texted Naomi. We need to talk. Now. Naomi met him at a coffee shop, leaving the girls with her neighbor. One look at his face told her everything. They know, she whispered. Marcus nodded. Not details, but enough. Oh, God. Hey! He reached across the table, taking her shaking hands. Listen to me. I have a safe house, upstate, remote, protected. I need you and the girls there until this is resolved. For how long? A week, maybe 2. Marcus, I have a business. I'll pay for someone to run it. The girls have school. I'll hire a tutor. We can't just disappear. You did it once before. His voice rose, then softened. Naomi. Please, they asked about my family. That means they're looking, and I can't. His voice cracked. I can't risk them. Not for anything. Naomi's eyes burned. This is why I didn't tell you. This is exactly why. I know. Your world followed you here, just like I knew it would. I know. And now my daughters are in danger because I let you into their lives. Marcus flinched like she'd struck him. But he didn't argue. Because it was true. I'm going to fix this, he said quietly. But I need you safe first. Naomi stared at the man across from her, the man she'd loved, lost, found again, and was now losing in a different way. If we run, they win. We'll spend the rest of our lives hiding. If you stay, they might not have a rest of their lives. The brutal truth landed hard. 1 week, Naomi said finally. You have 1 week to end this. And if you can't, we're gone. Really gone. So far you'll never find us. Deal. The safe house was beautiful in a sterile, unlived-in way. High in the mountains, surrounded by woods. 3 bedrooms, full security system. Guards posted at every access point. The girls thought it was an adventure. Naomi knew it was a prison. That night, after the girls fell asleep, exhausted from exploring, Naomi sat on the porch watching the stars. Marcus found her there. Can't sleep? How am I supposed to sleep knowing my daughters are here because someone wants to hurt them to get to you? He sat beside her, careful not to touch. I'm ending it. Dimitri found who talked. We're handling it. Handling it, Naomi repeated. You mean killing them? Marcus didn't answer. This is who you are. This is what you do. It's who I was. Is there a difference? He was quiet for a long moment. I don't know anymore. A month ago I would have said yes. Now? He shook his head. I'm trying to protect what matters. If that makes me a monster, then I'm a monster. You're not a monster, Naomi's voice broke. You're just impossible. Yeah. They sat in silence, the weight of everything unsaid pressing down. Do you regret it? Marcus asked finally. Letting me meet them? Naomi thought about Thursday dinners, About Sage calling him Dad Marcus. About the way Zara had started trusting him to braid her hair. About Maya showing him her terrible cartwheel. About Layla falling asleep on his shoulder during a movie. "No," she whispered, "but I'm terrified it's going to get them killed." "It won't. You can't know that. Then I'll die making sure it doesn't." Naomi turned to look at him. "That's not the reassurance you think it is. It's the only one I have." She wanted to scream. She wanted to cry. She wanted to rewind time and never let him into that flower shop. But she also wanted to reach for his hand in the darkness. So she did. And they sat there, holding on, while the stars watched and the guards patrolled and 4 little girls slept peacefully, unaware their world was balanced on a knife's edge. 6 days. It took 6 days for Marcus to dismantle the threat. Naomi didn't ask for details. She didn't want to know. All she knew was that on day 7, Marcus showed up at the safe house looking older and more tired than she'd ever seen him, but alive. "It's done," he said simply. "What's done?" "Everything. The Italians backed down. The territories are redistributed. My exit is clean." He paused. "And I'm out." Naomi stared at him. "You're lying." "I've never lied to you. You can't just walk away from—" "I didn't walk. I burned it down." His voice was hollow. "Every connection, every operation, every bridge, it's gone, Naomi. All of it. And the people who depended on you? Taken care of. Dimitri took over the legitimate businesses. Everyone got a choice. Stay in that life or start over. Most chose to start over." He looked at his hands. "Turns out a lot of people were just waiting for permission to leave." Naomi couldn't breathe. "What does that mean for you?" "It means I'm nobody. Just Marcus. No empire, no power, no protection except what I can provide myself." "And you think that makes us safe?" "Safer than before. Because now there's nothing to gain from coming after us. I'm not a threat. I'm not competition. I'm just a man who wants to know his daughters." Naomi's eyes burned. "You gave up everything." "No, I gave up nothing, because nothing is what I had before I found you again." They went home the next day. The girls were thrilled to be back in their own beds, their own neighborhood, their own lives. Thursday dinner that week was quieter than usual. Marcus seemed different. Lighter somehow, despite the exhaustion. Like he'd been carrying weight for so long he'd forgotten what it felt like to stand up straight. "Marcus?" Maya tugged his sleeve. "Are you staying for breakfast tomorrow?" He looked at Naomi, question in his eyes. She took a breath. "Marcus is going to start staying here more often," she said carefully. "If that's okay with you girls." "Like a sleepover?" Layla asked. "Sort of. More like. He's going to be here when you wake up. And when you go to sleep. And all the times in between." Sage's eyes went wide. "Is he moving in?" 4 pairs of eyes turned to Naomi. She looked at Marcus. This man who'd given up an empire for a chance to be a father. This man who was dangerous and gentle and impossible and here. "Yes," she said softly. "If you want him to." "Yes." 4 voices in perfect chorus. Marcus's eyes glistened. "Then yes," Naomi confirmed. "He's staying." 3 months later, Naomi was closing the flower shop when Marcus arrived with all 4 girls in tow, covered in paint. "What happened to you?" "Art project," Marcus said sheepishly. "It got ambitious." "I can see that." "Daddy said we could paint anything," Maya announced. "Daddy." The word still made Naomi's heart skip. It had happened gradually. Marcus became Daddy somewhere between bedtime stories and Saturday morning pancakes. Marcus had cried the first time Zara called him that. Actually cried. Naomi had fallen in love with him all over again, watching him try to hide tears while braiding their daughter's hair. "Come on, paint monsters. Let's get you cleaned up before you destroy the apartment." They walked home as a family, Marcus carrying Sage on his shoulders, Naomi holding Maya's hand, Zara and Layla racing ahead, their laughter echoing off the buildings. This was normal now. School pickups, grocery shopping, arguments about bedtime, finding tiny shoes in impossible places. Normal. Marcus had gotten a job at a community center teaching self-defense to at-risk youth, helping kids find a path out of the life he'd left behind. Naomi had expanded the flower shop, hiring help so she could actually take days off. They'd become boring. It was perfect. That night, after the girls were asleep, Marcus found Naomi in the kitchen. "Hey!" She turned. "Hey yourself?" He pulled something from his pocket, a folded piece of paper, Zara's drawing, the one she'd given him months ago, 4 stick figures under a rainbow. "I carry this everywhere," he said quietly, as a reminder. "Of what?" "That I'm lucky," like Sage said. Naomi's throat tightened. Marcus moved closer. "I know I don't have the right to ask this. I know I messed up 5 years ago. I know I brought danger to your door. But, Marcus, let me finish." He took her hand. "I love you. I loved you then. I love you now. And I love those 4 incredible little girls who somehow still give me a chance every single day." His voice shook. "I know we're doing this backwards. I know I should have courted you properly before moving in. But I'm asking now, Naomi, will you—" "Yes." He blinked. "You didn't let me finish. I don't need you to finish. The answer is yes. You don't even know what I was going to ask." Naomi smiled through tears. "You were going to ask if we could make this permanent, if we could be a real family, if you could stay forever. How did you—" "Because I know you, Marcus Kane, and I know that when you love something, you love it completely." She cupped his face. "So yes, stay, forever. Be their father, be my partner, be ours." He kissed her like a man finding air after drowning. When they finally pulled apart, both were crying. "I don't deserve this," Marcus whispered. "Maybe not, but you're choosing it anyway. And that's what matters." 1 year later, Naomi stood in her shop, arranging flowers for a wedding, when 4 little girls burst through the door. "Mommy! Daddy said we could get ice cream if we finished our homework." Marcus followed, grinning. They finished in record time. "I wonder why," Naomi said dryly. "Bribery is an underrated parenting tool," says the former crime lord. Reformed crime lord. She laughed and kissed him. The girls made exaggerated gagging sounds. "Gross." "Parents kissing." "Get used to it," Marcus told them. "We're going to do this for the next 50 years. You! But they were smiling. They were always smiling now. That night, Marcus and Naomi stood in the doorway watching their daughters sleep. 4 little girls in 4 colored corners, peaceful and safe and loved. "Thank you," Marcus whispered. "For what?" "For giving me a second chance, for letting me be their father, for trusting me when you had every reason not to." Naomi leaned into him. "You gave up everything for them." "No." He wrapped his arms around her. "I gave up nothing for everything." And in that moment, in that small apartment filled with laughter and